Hey, this past Sunday, in the middle of our series on Philippians, we were in Philippians 4, and the Apostle Paul used the term practice. In context there, he was talking about you and I thinking about things that are pure and lovely and trustworthy and true, and taking to God all of our cares and turning them into a prayer. And he used the term practice. He says, practice these things. Well, several times through the Old Testament and the New Testament, we see the word practice or practicing or practiced, where we're seeing this beautiful tension, this beautiful reality in the life of a follower of Christ. And if you're a follower of Christ today, that means this applies to you. And that is this beautiful tension that, yes, as I follow Jesus every day, the Spirit is the one who transforms me into the image of Jesus, right? That's a process that's going to take place until the day that God calls me home and God calls you home to heaven. This idea of sanctification, being made more like Jesus. All right, here's where I'm going. So yes, the Spirit is the one who does that in me and in you. And then the tension there is as I'm cooperating with the Spirit, as I'm submitting myself to Jesus and putting the ways of Jesus into practice. To simplify it, for example, for today, maybe he is giving you the opportunity this week to put into practice hospitality, all right? Taking care of someone who is in need. Maybe it's generosity. Maybe it's simply praying for someone. Maybe it's somebody that God is bringing your way into which you're going to share the gospel and put into practice being an ambassador for Jesus. Here's my encouragement. Will you be aware this week and this weekend? Will you be aware of the opportunities that God is presenting before you? And will you see those opportunities as a means of which you may practice following Jesus? Loving someone, caring for someone, praying for someone, being hospitable, being generous, whatever the case may be. Where is he giving you an opportunity to put into practice the ways of Jesus? Church, I love you. We're going to finish up the series this Sunday as we journey into this latter part of Philippians chapter 4 and look at the idea of contentment. Super applicable to, I believe, 99.9% of those who call Restoration home and who will be there on Sunday. At the same time, speaking of Sunday, don't forget we are about 2 weeks away from moving to 3 services, and that's going to take place at 8, 9:15 and 10:45 on September the 8th. I want to encourage you now to begin making plans to be at each one of those services, whichever service you decide, on time. And then also, last thing I'll say is that baptism is coming up this Sunday during service. If that is your next step, there is a link below for you to sign up and to let somebody know that that is something God is calling you to and that you need to obey in. Church, love you, praying for you, be on mission.